Okay. Welcome to the Pacific Perspectives podcast, the podcast with an Oilers fan and a Canucks fan, and we're both going to give our perspectives on the NHL. I'm Xavier. This is JC on my left, and we're going to get into it. I had this random epiphany of doing this show. I think it was in the shower, and all the best things come to you in the shower. Everyone knows that. JC thought it would be a good idea. We're going to see how it goes. And we got some integration from you guys. Maybe we'll make that a regular thing. We're going to ask you guys questions, bring in your hot takes at the end here. But just an itinerary for this, we're going to go over our award predictions and then maybe give some of our hot takes and our just predictions for the Oilers and the Canucks this year. Maybe I'll chip in. And give maybe a state of the union on the rivalry between the teams because I think everyone is very familiar with that. In the playoffs, it was very heated. And then at the end, maybe we'll get into some follower hot takes. So, yeah, do you have anything to say to start with?
Yeah, I feel like we should do like a proper introductions on ourselves first.
Oh, of course. Yes. What,
Okay,
the Instagram page?
I'll start it off. So, hello everyone. I'm JC. I'm Nux Memes. I'm Nucko on Instagram. I'm a very big Canucks fan, despite never having been in Vancouver in my life. But maybe one day.
Really?
Maybe. And realistically, I'm doing this podcast as a substitution for therapy because I feel like it's going to be really fun to yell at Xavier Miyamoto.
I agree. I am Xavier, not Miyamoto, Kyler Miyamoto. Not Miyamoto. I haven't had that name in like 2 years.
People still call you it.
I think when I started this account, JC was the big account when I started up. Meme Toe, that's a good one. I hate that one. Don't say that.
Back to fucking.
All right, and we're gonna get into it. So we have. Do you have any idea what you maybe want to start with for the awards? Like, and
I feel like let's just keep it pretty easy. Let's start with Calder because I feel like there are really only two options that are obvious.
Two options. I would say like three. I would go.
Like it's one of two guys.
Who are your two guys? I think I know who it is.
Well, I think it's got to be either Michkov or Celebrini. I think it's gonna be one of those two. I think.
No Lane Hudson. No Lane Hudson.
I like he could, but I feel like it's gonna come down to those other two, and I think Celebrini has a better chance because he's playing on a good line, and he's not playing on a team where the coach notoriously hates the young guys.
That's true.
Like Tortorella does.
Yeah. See, for me, you can't. I hate making a prediction for the Calder unless it's like Bedard last year. Like that was so easy. I think I got like $100 at like 2.5, like plus 250. Like that's ridiculous. Everyone knew that was going to happen. But for a year like this, even when I think you can probably say that Michkov is the best guy, just in terms of like the talent, especially for the future. But I think if you think of any Calder year, with Besser, I know with McDavid, it just comes down to who doesn't get a major injury, who plays the most games. I think that's going to come down to it.
Hal Clutterbuck.
And I think, you look at Michkov, he's got the thick, he looks like a football player. I think
it's scary.
I think on top of being probably maybe a little bit better than Celebrini, he is the most physically adept of the bunch.
Yeah, I guess Celebrini's also already dealing with an injury like immediately. I don't know how serious that is.
Exactly. I guess we have a bit of a hindsight because we're filming this like kind of 2 games into it, but still, you have to wonder if that's going to be trend for Celebrini this year, and he's obviously not the most physical guy at all times, And Hudson as well. He definitely suffers from that a lot more.
So maybe just by way of availability, it might end up being Michkov.
Yeah, and I know that's the lame pick, but
it is.
Art Ross.
Well,
you'd think.
I would think.
You would think, but last year that was not the case.
It wasn't the case, but do we see Kucherov? I mean, Kucherov's had a good start already. He had a hat trick
Yeah.
yesterday. Do we think he's gonna score that many points again?
I think the top teams are really going with load management this year. And especially Knobloch, he will literally, if the Oilers are up by 3 goals, which is, I mean, you'd have to imagine it happens at least like 10, 11 games if they're like decent, he just benches them. And that's good. You see it every time in the playoffs. He has so much left in the tank because they don't play him. So I don't think it's going to be McDavid. I think probably you see Kucherov do it again.
I mean,
And I hate that because I
Tampa's
hate
probably going to be in
Kucherov.
the fight until the very end.
Yeah, it'll
So-
do the same thing where like a few people get 130, 140.
But there is also Nate Dogg.
That's true. The Avs suck.
Panarin
don't
had
know.
120 points last year.
Okay, Panarin's not getting there, Ross. Let's not.
He had
let's
120
not kid
points last
ourselves.
year. You never know.
And he's getting older every week, and Lafreniere is taking a spot on the
That's
power
how
play.
time works.
So I don't know. And further to
What
that,
did you say about Lafreniere?
he's taking a spot on the power play.
Okay, I thought you were dissing Lafreniere.
No.
I was
I'm currently trading.
I'm not
I'm
saying
currently in the
Lafreniere.
process of trading for him in fantasy. So we'll wait
Okay.
until that comes out, so they know I'm not overvaluing him.
So you're saying Kucherov for Art Ross?
I think so. I think he's going to do 140 again.
I have to say McDavid. I'm just gonna go McDavid. It's boring, but I'm saying McDavid.
Your baby. And further to that, Hart. Who wins the Hart? And I will say this isn't who you think, or it's not who you think should get it. It's who you think is going to get it.
That's an actual tough one because I feel like voters don't really want to give it to McDavid anymore because it's boring. And then like Mac got his. Kucherov, I don't think he's replicating last year's where he definitely could have won the Hart. So I kind of want to make a bit of an off the board prediction here.
Quinn Hughes.
I'm not saying Quinn Hughes.
gonna
The
say
Canucks
Quinn
have
Hughes.
too many good players to the point where like they all kind of get mixed up with each other. Like Miller, Pedersen, Hughes. None of them can win a Hart because the other ones exist. I feel
It's true.
because they're all so close in terms of skill. It's hard to pick a best Canuck.
It's true. It's the Malkin
So
problem.
I'm gonna say I think this is gonna age probably terribly, but if they can make the playoffs, I think Kirill Kaprizov.
I like
win the
that.
Hart.
I like that because I can kind of get on board with that. I think I'm not gonna pick him, but I'm gonna say he's a finalist. I think people are really undervaluing Minnesota this year. I personally believe they are easily a playoff team, but the media, again, tying into who is going to win, not who I think should win. The media votes on it, and if they think that Minnesota isn't a good team and they do good, and Kaprizov does good, he gets a ton of votes. Like imagine if Kaprizov increases his production even like 10%. That's like 125 points.
Yeah,
And
he can definitely do that.
yeah, I think for me, my pick, I think because it's so wide open, and again, there's a media narrative around this, I think it's going to be Hellebuck. I think we're going to see a goalie.
You think it's gonna okay?
Because the Jets are not good enough to the point where they might have like a couple point per game forwards. Their defense is objectively average, and then Hellebuck he already got the Vezina. Everyone already knows he's that good. If he is the best goalie and the Jets do decent, I think it can happen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the pick. I don't think they want to give it to a goalie though. Like how many Hart votes did Hellebuck get last year? Jarvis,
Not
pull
that
up
many.
the Hart voting.
Yeah, I
have my phone
especially
here.
because it's Winnipeg. I can kind of see that. Like he might not get the narrative. I don't see them giving it to McDavid again. Mac already got his. He's never getting another one, even if he deserves it. Kucherov, they very clearly do not like Kucherov, so he's not getting it.
Okay, so
I'd say either
Hellebuck-
Makar or him.
Hellebuck last year finished 6th in the Hart voting with 104 points, which was a solid, 1,600 off of first place.
Ooh.
And he had an insane year.
Yeah.
So,
this is one of his best years.
Improving on that is going to be insanely difficult. And even if he does, can he really get those extra points?
It is really tough for a goalie. Like, you have to do some otherworldly stuff as a goalie to get the Hart. Like, Price got it. He got it one time, I think, and that was the best goaltending season of all time. So, I mean, Shesterkin, when he did it 2 years ago, when he had the 940 save percentage, what did he finish? 4th as well? And he was better than Hellebuck was last year.
Yeah, there are only 7 goalies who have ever gotten it. And it is a lot of old heads.
Yeah, a bunch of 40s
And then it's
goalies.
Hashtag, Jose Theodore, and Carey Price. Hashtag got it twice.
Oh, of course he did. That's my goat.
That is my go-to.
That is crazy, though. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to say Hellebuck Hart. I just think, I saw it firsthand. Oilers opener, there's no one else on his level, I think. Even Shesterkin.
Dude got shut out by Hellebuck and is immediately saying...
There's no shame in that. There's no shame in getting shut out by Hellebuck. Okay.
There isn't. But could there be some recency bias in your pick just because you watched your team get clapped?
Okay. Every single time we've played him, except for a couple, he's completely shut us down in the entire night. I am just imagining in my head, what if the Oilers had Hellebuck? So maybe that does play into it. But anyways...
What if the Oilers had
a goalie,
an average level goalie?
Okay, but Skinner is an average level goalie. That's the issue. That's the issue.
Skinner can be an average goalie at times, but a lot of the times he's letting in fucking 5 goals. Am I allowed to swear on this?
Yeah, in the playoffs, a little bit. In the playoffs, Skinner was either insanely bad or insanely good, but not at the level of carrying the team. Besides 2 examples in Game 6 in Dallas and kind of Game 7 in Vancouver, kind of. I wouldn't really count that, though. But
he was awful at the start of that series, and then...
Yeah, he was so bad.
They brought in Picard.
He single-handedly lost them probably 1.5 games. And then he single-handedly won them a couple as well. It's just a strange goalie.
Picard? Is it Pickard or Picard?
I think it's Pickard.
I think it is too, but I've heard people say Picard, and I don't think about him enough to...
I've seen Jack Michaels say... Michaels says Pickard, and he does the research on who wants to be called
him.
what. So I think I trust the play-by-play.
I've seen that guy naked before.
Oh, I have to. It's very sad. We're moving on. Norris, who do we think? And this one I think is
I feel like we might say the same person here.
We might.
You want to say it on the count of 3?
Well, okay, 1, 2, 3. Cale Makar.
Bouchard. What the fuck?
No! Evan Bouchard has no chance. There is literally not a single... Colorado has to get nuked at home with Cale Makar, at the epicenter of the nuke, and then Quinn Hughes has to contract Ebola, and then Bouchard has to also score 100 points. That's the only way he can get the Norris. That is the only way he can get Bouchard. Okay. Do you remember when Tyson Barrie led the entire defenseman in points and he didn't get a single vote?
Well, that's because he sucks.
I think most people know that Bouchard is better than that. But you see the narrative there, and he will never have that superstar caliber air around him. Even if he is, it doesn't matter.
I feel like if he were to get 100 points, he would basically guarantee it, though, like the year Carlson did. I know Carlson was on the fucking Sharks.
But for me, I think him being on the Sharks played a lot into that, because that was almost like giving him a Hart trophy. He was just that much better than the rest of his team. That's why they gave it to him. But to me, if Bouchard can do 100 points, I give it a 20% chance. But if he does that, Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes are also doing 100. And they have they're like the superstar. They don't need McDavid to score them points, even though they have equally as good superstars. But you know what I mean.
Wait. Are you saying that like Vancouver has equally as good
No,
superstars?
no, like they have equally as good forward support is what I mean.
Okay, I guess if you balance it out, then we'll get into that.
Yeah,
We'll get into
we're already digging into Canucks versus Oilers. Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
you know what? I don't even hate Miro Heiskanen for Norris. I don't hate that as an option. He's
that's a
number
good
one
option
D on
too.
a team that has a chance at the President's Trophy. I feel like that could be a choice too.
I think I agree with that because think of how Quinn Hughes won it this year. I think he deserved it, but at the same time, the year before, there were so many people talking about, oh, Quinn Hughes is underrated. You know, Quinn Hughes is going to be in the talk for North. That's kind of happening with Heiskanen this year. So I feel like he already has the expectation that he's going to get one. So now that Quinn Hughes has got one, Cale Makar's got two, I think. He's going to have like 10 over the rest of his career, but it's the same way with how McKinnon got his heart. Eventually, you have to give it to the guy, even if he doesn't deserve it that year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like when Leonardo DiCaprio finally won an Oscar.
He just
It's like,
you
all right,
have to give him one,
Yeah.
even if he did not deserve it. Next, the Vezina, and I think we might agree on this. Who do you think?
Well, you've already picked Hellebuck for Hart, so I feel like we know.
I think we know.
Here.
Yeah, mine's definitely Hellebuck. Again, back to
Yeah,
back.
I mean, I could definitely go that way. It's not going to be Demko just because of injuries,
Yeah,
so I can't say Demko. And like Swayman already looks a little rusty because he missed out on preseason. I would have said Swayman if he had signed earlier. I would
Totally.
have definitely said Swayman, but now he's going to be cold to start the season. He's going to get a lot of time though because Korpisalo stinks.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't think Ottinger has it in him. I'm trying to think of the Shesterkin. You know what? Since you're going Hellebuck, I'll go Shesterkin. I don't mind Shesterkin as a pick.
Yeah, I was going to say I would also... It's kind of 50-50, Shesterkin and Hellebuck. I think Shesterkin's numbers will look better because he's on a better team. Kind of similar to the last time when he won it. But I don't know. There's just a narrative around Hellebuck now, so I don't know. Goalies want... It really just does... It does come down to Shesterkin or Hellebuck. If anyone else wins it, I'd be a little surprised.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely other people who could get it, but
It's a really off... Like, Linus Ullmark winning it, like, it'd be a real one-off.
Yeah, I don't know if Ullmark has it in him. I don't think he can carry the Sens defense all year.
No, I don't think so. Although, one guy we did forget, UC Saros. If the Preds do something like President's Trophy, I don't know if they can win it, but, you know, go kind of that distance, be like a top 5 team, and he puts up like a 920, he'll easily be top 2.
Did you know that last season, Kevin Lankinen had a goal saved above expected? That was 7 points higher than Saros.
I do
same
know
team.
that. However, Saros is in fact that guy, and I think your analytical model is not factoring that in.
Saros, I like Saros a lot. He's like one of the shortest goalies in the league. He's one of the only ones under 6 feet. I think he's good. He was very overrated last season, though, and I don't think he's gonna win a Vezina this year. I think he's gonna be a lot better than he was last year, but I don't think
Absolutely.
the Vezina is an option this year.
I think
Maybe
if
he could be a
Shesterkin
finalist.
and Hellebuck kind of drop out, he's the next guy up, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd still take Swayman over him. And I mean, if Demko can come back like early or mid-November and still get a lot of the season in,
That's
Demko
true.
could still make a run at it too.
I think for Saros, on top of, you know, his own personal performance, it comes down to how good does he get the wins. If he gets 40 wins, it's kind of hard to talk him out of at least a nomination. And if he starts like 62, like I think Binning. All right.
What were you saying when you left?
So Windows decided to update randomly, but we're back. Were we talking about Hellebuck, or are we past that?
Saros, maybe?
Oh yeah, no. We were talking about Saros. Okay, well we'll move on from that. UC Saros. I don't even know why I needed to know that. Okay, and probably the most obvious award next, the Jack Adams. I think this is free money. I think. Who do you think?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it. Who do you think is the free money?
You got to think who is a decent coach. First of all, they have to actually be a decent coach. Who is going to have a much higher point
Sheldon
total?
Keefe.
Exactly. Who is going to have a much higher point total than last year? That's all that matters. Rick Tocchet. Okay, I don't even know who the best coach in the league is. It always is just whoever has the bigger point jump from last year. Rick
Best coach
Tocchet
in the
last
league is
year.
Paul Maurice.
You could say that, yeah. Yeah, you could. I think
it.
I'd agree with that. He just won.
He's not gonna win Jack Adams because his team just won the cup.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, you see with John Cooper, did he ever win it?
I have no idea.
I don't think he did. We're gonna look really stupid if he did win it, but I don't
just
think
search
he
up
did.
past Jack Adams winners. I'm basically like, who's the dude on Joe Rogan that like searches up everything?
No idea. I know who you mean. I know exactly who you mean.
Yeah, okay. I'm that guy while also being the like
Part of it.
I don't know. I could be Dana White.
Oh yes.
I forgot Sutter. Daryl Sutter won it in 2022 and then got fired immediately
That's
after.
crazy. Because everyone
Cassidy,
hated him.
2020.
None of the Flames players liked him.
Yeah. Okay. No, John Cooper does not have one. In 2019, it was Barry Trotz. 2020, Bruce Cassidy. 2021, Rod Brindamore, and I think that was kind of his window.
Yeah. I think he probably would have had to win it when they won the President's Trophy. It's like 2018, I think 2018, 2019, something like that.
That year when they set the record was 2019.
Yeah, before they got swept.
Yeah,
which was a great year
2019,
for hockey.
and that one went to Barry Trotz.
I see. That was when he was on the Islanders, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And after that, what are the other awards?
Jim Gregory.
Jim Gregory. I don't know.
I feel.
Oh no! It's got to be Barry Trotz.
Yeah. No. If Nashville actually like puts the pieces together,
If they make the second round.
Yeah. Well, if they, I think the voters vote before the playoffs happen, right?
No, I think for the Jim Gregory, that's the one where they vote before the start of the conference finals.
Fuck. Okay. Well, yeah, that. But I think if they get a division spot, they're probably just gonna give it to him for getting Stamkos. The voters are old heads.
Yeah, that's true. A sleeper pick, if Detroit makes the playoffs at all, they're gonna give it to Yzerman, just for the Yzerman narrative.
Not making playoffs though.
They're not making the playoffs, but if he did, and I'd give it like a 30% chance.
Make playoffs, and, it's just not gonna happen.
All right. So enough. I think that's the last major award we can really get into, I believe.
Yeah, I
probably should have wrote them all down. I mean, we could talk about the Selke, but that's just complete
it could really
guesswork.
Be like anyone. I'm just gonna say Pedersen.
No, why? No, why would it be? It'd be Miller if anything.
No, Pedersen's definitely better defensively. Even if some people don't want to admit it, some people just hate. There are so many Canucks fans that just hate Pedersen now.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot. I think I see more Canucks tweets on my timeline than Oilers tweets now, and most of that is Daniel Sprong sucks, Desharnais sucks, and Pedersen sucks, and it's because they like don't throw the big hit that JT Miller does. But JT Miller is a lot worse defensively. You are right.
I wouldn't say a lot worse. He holds his own. He's good defensively, but Pedersen's better.
He gets like the defensive categories, but like his defensive impact is like average for a top line forward, which isn't bad. It's
times. There are times. There have been times he's kind of getting over it, but he just gets angry and then refuses to back check.
That's what I noticed.
Really annoys me.
And Pedersen, if he worked just a little bit, it's kind of like Draisaitl. where he is genuinely all right defensively, but if he like committed to it more. But I mean, obviously, just winning a Selkie isn't really something you strive for. But like, if he wanted to, he could. I think I'd agree with that.
And while we're on the topic, before we move on, because I don't think anyone cares enough for like a 10-minute discussion on the Selkie, I just want to say, please, dear God, rename it the Bergeron.
You have to. You have to. Nobody knows who Frank J. Selke is.
I doubt he was as good at defense as Patrice Bergeron was.
Exactly. Oh, you know what? Actually, while we're talking about awards, do you agree that they need to separate the Norris into like most points by a defenseman, best defensive defenseman, and then best defenseman overall?
I wouldn't mind a defensive defenseman category. I feel like you don't need 3 different awards, but I wouldn't mind a defensive defenseman category.
What would you call it though? You don't know any defensive defenseman, do you? What'd you say?
You could do the Lidstrom.
That's a good one. It could be the Lidstrom. Although
Mr. Perfect.
They might have that one for the best overall. Like they might rename the Norris to Lidstrom if they were changing the trophy, because I think he won it the most. I think he won like 8 times.
He got a ton of them. I have his biography.
Really?
I haven't read it, but I have it. I'm gonna get to it. I swear.
He was sick. Better than Orr, in my opinion.
I would agree with that.
But we won't get into that.
There are definitely going to be some old heads who hear this and want to kill us.
Oh, they won't like that.
I would say Lidstrom's the best defenseman in NHL history because, I mean, he was literally Mr. Perfect. He lived up to that name.
I think it's not even close. I think it's Lidstrom. And
okay, but
on that topic...
We're getting off topic here.
Just one more thing. The point trophy would be Bobby Orr. Anyways, moving on. What are some let's give one hot take on our own teams and then one hot take for the league. Okay, you go first.
Why am I going first?
You go first because I pointed to you. You go first.
Okay. Hot take.
You look insane like that, by the way.
What's up?
You're like pulling your eye.
I want to do something about Niels Höglander, but I feel like anything I say...
Shut up.
I feel like anything I say is either going to be like not hot enough or...
Give me your Niels Höglander.
I don't think that's hot enough.
30 goals?
If I say 35 goals, that's too much, and that's only 5 goals of a difference.
Do you honestly think he can get 30?
Yes, definitely. He had 24 last year. He got 0 on the power play. Now he's actually getting power play time.
Yeah, that's a solid hot take. I mean, I can definitely see that. Yeah, I think
he's 100% outscoring in terms of goals Jake DeBrusk.
It depends. It definitely depends on his usage, like you said, power play time. That's what. Yeah, I can see that.
I'm obviously quite high on Big Hog.
Big Hog. Hey,
I think 30 goals for him.
Massive hog.
In the question. I just want to say, I think that Tyler Myers is going to prove his worth as a depth defenseman this year. I think he is last year, he was an actually good defenseman, but people hate on him because of his contract. Now, he's only making $3 million, and now we can just appreciate the fact he's just an actually good defenseman.
That's true.
I think we'll see it this year.
I like that. Okay. For me, for Oilers, I think that Stuart Skinner is going to lead the league in wins. Is that hot?
I don't know. I think that's more of a team stat than anything. So I don't think
it's a team stat, but
I don't think he's going to, because I feel like there's like the Rangers are going to win a lot of games and Shesterkin's going to start a lot of those games.
Quick started a lot of games last year, actually.
He did, but Shesterkin still started a ton.
I'm gonna stick with that though. I think you'll see Stuart Skinner get 41, probably 41-40 in that range. I don't know what it was last year for the most wins, but I think around that range.
Give me something a little spicier. I need something a little bit more.
That's not spicy. That's not spicy enough.
It's more of a team stat, and Edmonton's too good of a team where it's like that wouldn't be that surprising. They can carry his ass. He could have like an 899 save percentage, and he could get those 41 wins.
You're not wrong. A bit hotter than that. I'm not gonna just make something up. I genuinely, wholeheartedly believe Jeff Skinner is scoring 50. It can't be that hot of a take. It can't be that hot of a take. And I think it doesn't happen besides Draisaitl. I think it happens when he gets elevated next to McDavid. And part of this is Zach Hyman's going to fall off a little bit. He's going to score around 30, 35, not 54. And Jeff Skinner's going to just replace that production. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think he's going to replace him on the power play. He's going to be the McDavid Merchant of the Year.
Jeff Skinner simply does not have the rich family that Zach Hyman does.
It's true. He's not Jewish enough, apparently, is what happens. Maybe we'll edit that out. And for the league, I guess I'll start because I made you start. For the league,
Wait, I need to cough. Hang on. You're going to need to edit this out. Okay, go ahead.
I think we are going to see 6 100-point players. Is my hot take. 6 100-point players, and I can name them. Do you want me to name them?
Yeah.
Okay. Jack Hughes, Connor McDavid, JT Miller, Leon Draisaitl, Evan Bouchard, and Quinn Hughes. 6.
Wait.
Count it 6.
Wait. Hang on. Wait. You're saying there are going to be 6 100-point scorers in the entire NHL, yeah?
6. Yep.
And those are your choices?
Yes! What's wrong with that?
3 Oilers and 2 Canucks?
Yes!
And then Jack Hughes? You don't think Kucherov is hitting 100? You think Panarin's going to have the 20
we're gonna edit that.
drop-off?
We're gonna edit that. But
No, you are not editing that out. You are not.
I think there will be 10 100-point scorers upon further review. And that'll be Jack Hughes, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, JT Miller, Quinn Hughes, Bouchard, Kucherov, McKinnon, Forsberg, and Austin Matthews.
Dude, what about, like, Pasternak?
He's missing 30 games.
You better not edit that out. You better keep that.
We'll see.
Well, I already kind of gave one with Kaprizov winning the Hart. I feel like that's kind of hot, but
That's a little hot.
I'll give another one. I don't like Luke Gazdic. I hate him, actually. As a Canucks fan, I hate him. I liked his hot take that Utah was going to make playoffs. I thought that was a good one. I'm not going to steal that.
I don't think that's that hot of a take. I think that's above 50% chance.
They were awful last year. They don't have that good of forward depth. Their defensive depth isn't that great. Their bottom pairing is Cole Kesselring, which is just, like, not that great.
Mike Kesselring. Let me tell you, it's Mike Kesselring.
I was talking about Ian Cole. And Michael Kesselring.
That bottom pair is not that bad. Mike Kesselring is actually pretty decent.
He's fine. Ian Cole sucks.
I mean, I think it's an average bottom pair.
I don't think it's great. I think they are going to get exposed. And what's their middle pair right now?
It's
like Valimaki, right? Is it?
Let's pull it up.
Yeah, like Jarvis.
Jarvis, show me Utah Hockey Club DFO.
Thank you, Dale.
I'm pretty sure it's Sergachev.
Oh, wait. Okay,
Sergachev
yeah. Right now it's
top.
Valimaki Kesselring on the second pair, and the bottom pair is Kolyachonok and Ian Cole. That is not a good bottom pair.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna dial that back. Maybe you're right on that one.
So I think it is a hot take that they would make playoffs, but I don't hate it. They've started off great. Dylan Gunther started off great. I'm glad he's thriving.
Okay, I'm like hilarious. I've just gone blurry apparently.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. Guys, Jim Benning was not taking Dylan Gunther. At least we have Connor Garland. We could have nothing right now. He
It's
was not
true.
taking Dylan Gunther. That dude is stupid.
It's true.
That was past the what's his face? Judge Brackett era. Judge Brackett gave us all of our good draft picks, and he was gone by then. He was not taking Dylan Gunther, guys.
He was not going to take an Edmonton native. Let's be real. That wasn't happening.
We're good. We got Garland.
I can get behind the Utah pick though. I really can.
Oh yeah, I didn't give my actual hot take. I don't want to take Luke Gazdix because I don't like him. I'm thinking. I think both 1 seeds in both conferences are out by the 3rd round. Neither of them are going to make the conference finals.
Out by the 3rd
I actually
round.
think both might lose in the 1st round.
Both 1 seeds lose. Who do you think might be those 1 seeds?
Like Dallas could totally lose in the 1st round, but Dallas could also definitely be the top seed.
Yeah.
Top seed in the East, like, I mean, you're looking at, if it's in the Atlantic, like maybe Florida. If Florida gets that 1 seed, I don't think they lose.
I think
round.
that script is.
Seed.
I think that script has been written day 1. Florida's going out in the 1st round. They're still the best team in the East, but they're just not going to have the juice.
I feel like there's a lot of competition in the like middle parts of both conferences, and both those, whatever teams get in, are going to be itching, and they're going to want to push out that top seed.
Honestly, I agree with that. I'm already very afraid for the 1st round this year because it doesn't look like it's going to be the Kings.
But we'll see. Though. I mean, if the Oilers win the Pacific, like LA could definitely still get a wild card spot.
They could, but I think it'll end up being Utah. Is actually what ends up happening.
That would be funny. If Utah pushed out,
and I think they could win. It would be. I mean, I'd cry for years, but we could win the cup the next year, and I'd still cry about that. But anyways, moving on. We are going to take a look at some follower hot takes now that we've given ours. My mic is completely screwed. All right.
You're running out of time.
We are running out of time because I've in fact got to be at the game at 8:00. But let's take a look at some hot. My phone is at 7%. That's not a very good recipe for success to get.
Give us like 3 of these hot takes right now, and we'll do a couple more next week.
That's a good idea. We'll do half today, and half next week. I'm gonna pick up 4. All right. I'm gonna pick up 4. All right. Liam Finn says Igor Shesterkin moves back to Russia. I'm not sure. Okay, well, we're not doing that one. Barkov Memes says Barkov Memes. Peter said Evan Bouchard misses 60 games. Okay. Now into the real hot takes. Canucks miss the playoffs very similar to the 17-18 Oilers and the 23-24 Devils. So they follow up a top 5 in the league season with just nothing. They're too talented for that. If you look,
I disagree. The West kind of sucks.
That's the thing. Like, you have to be really bad to miss the playoffs in the West.
Also, this has definitely been submitted after we've lost our first 2 games in overtime, and everybody's panicking immediately.
That's true. I mean, as an Oilers fan, I've seen a lot of people saying stuff like that even before they lost the first 2. And they still outplayed their opponents in those 2. It was just goaltending had a bit of a lapse. But yeah, well, that's a momentary thing.
First game, goaltending had a lapse. Second game, they just, like, Ersson was killing us. And then Philadelphia was pouring on shots. And there's only so much Lankinen could do. Lankinen played great, though.
Yeah. I just can't see it. I can't see them not being in the top 12. I could see them.
If you look at the Pacific Division, like, Edmonton gets one of the spots, one of the 3 division spots. Vegas probably gets 1. And then our competition for that last spot is LA, who got worse, Seattle, who's pretty just mid.
I don't even know what they're doing.
And then, like, Calgary's not going to play.
Calgary's not doing anything
all year. Anaheim isn't good enough. San Jose got better, but they're not good enough. Like, who's gonna take that third
There-
division spot?
the Pacific just has so many teams that are just straight up not even in the running for a bubble spot. Not
Yeah.
even close. And yeah, like who even if worst comes to worst, if Demko misses the whole year, they still finish like 12th, I think. And
Yeah, I
that's
think
the worst
Leggman's
case
good
scenario.
enough.
Let's go to hot take number 2 here. Let's see if I can find a good one. Ooh, someone agrees with you with Kaprizov for Hart. Nope. I like this one. Ovi breaks the goal record this season.
That was another one that was given on the Sportsnet panel. I think it was by David Amber. I don't think that's that crazy. Like, he's old and his goal scoring dropped off a bit last year. I mean, what, he had like 30 something, and he needs
Yeah.
42 to get it this year. But I don't think that's out of the question for him. Like, he started off so slow last year that if he just gets going a little bit earlier this year, and he's got better talent around him too this year.
Way better talent. Even if it is Pierre-Luc Dubois, it's
He's
something.
better. He's still an improvement.
He's not
over what they
playing
had.
with
Like Dylan Frome 1C and then nothing else going on.
Yeah, but they did get better. I don't think it's happening. I think he gets the same as last year, like 30, and I think he gets it next year. But it's not out of the question. He would have to have a month where he scores like 10, just a goal a game, just insanely on fire, which happens with Ovi. It happens. I don't see it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think it's next season, but it's like not out of the question. The one interesting thing that was brought up is that their last game of the season is against Pittsburgh.
Ooh.
So if he were to like break the goal record against Crosby, that would be pretty.
That would
be
be-
cinema.
Ooh, that would be absolute cinema. Okay, this is an interesting one, and it's Leafs miss the playoffs. It's a little corny because it's Leafs hate, but I kind of want to talk about it.
Okay, well, no.
You think no? Well, what's the % chance you would give on the Leafs missing the playoffs?
Like 25?
That's pretty high for an immediate no.
Not really. I mean, if you look at like the money puck models,
Oh,
he's
he's bringing out the analytics.
I think it's probably lower than 25%. But like, they're better than Ottawa, they're better than Detroit, they're better than Buffalo, they're better than Montreal. They're top 4 in that division for sure. We'll see what Tampa does. They're worse than Florida. They're probably worse than Boston, but they're making playoffs.
I want to say 50-50. And I think if they do make the playoffs, they'll be where they are as always. They'll be like 8-7-6. Like, they will be a very good team in the regular season, and then obviously collapse, we all know about that. But I think there's potential for something to go very wrong with this team. The Mitch Marner stuff, did we just like that just fizzled out and everyone forgot about that? If primarily for me, if Joseph Wall keeps getting injured, you have Hildeby and Stolars. Like, you're not making the playoffs with that when you have Morgan Riley on your top defense pair. I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't think it's going to happen, but I could absolutely see them barely missing.
I just want to say Anthony Stolars is a very, very good goalie, so I would disagree on that.
He
I think
is.
He can definitely be a starter.
But if he ends up having to play 45 games because Wall tears 6 ACLs, triple AC, tears his MCL, his BCL, his QCL, and it's going to happen, is he going to put up a 920 for the entire time? Is he going to, for 45 games?
No, but he's going to still put up a good percentage. Like, he played great in that Montreal game. I have faith in him. I think he can take on the role of a starter. Like,
All right.
A
starter?
I'm bringing up the money puck analytics again. Do you know where he ranked in terms of goals saved above expected last year?
I'm
the
pretty
entire
sure
league?
he was 6th, wasn't he?
Third.
3rd? Really?
Hellebuck, Demko, Dolars.
So he probably easily takes the cake for like per game goal save above
60,
expected.
yeah, he was number one quite easily. I'll bring up the statistics right now.
I knew it was good, but
he was incredible last year, which I guess it also kind of reflects how good of a team Florida was. But Toronto still has they added Chris Tanev, so their defense got better. Which
it did get better. It did get better.
Goals saved above expected per 60. Minimum games played 20. He was at .801, and number 2 was Big Save Dave at .607.
Really?
So he was .2 above second
Riddick?
place. Yeah.
I don't remember Riddick being that good last year.
Yeah,
all I remember is he got
13.8.
creamed in the playoffs.
Yeah, so Stolarz was third. He was only 1.9 behind Demko for second, and he was ahead of Swayman. He was ahead of his teammate Bobrovsky. Ahead of Allmark, Markstrom, Shesterkin. I know he only played 27 games, but I feel like that's something he can carry over. I think they're still a playoff team.
We'll see. This is an interesting one. Chicago makes the playoffs.
No.
I'm okay. It's a no for me. It's a no for me, but it's not that immediate. I think if their defense gets solidified, and so far it looks really bad. If their defense gets solidified, I think they do actually have a solid goalie tandem. They have an average top 6 group when Bedard is going crazy. Their bottom 6 is not horrible, and it's the West. I think you'd have to see someone else drop out, and it would be kind of a Philly scenario, or the last playoff spot in the East last year, where like the guy that got in had like 91 points. Like I don't think they can be more than a 42 win team, and then you'd have to have a ton of overtime losses. But I'd give it a 30% chance. You'd have to see a second-year Connor McDavid-esque year from Connor Bedard. Like, he'd have to put up 100 points. Probably 110 points prorated to today's scoring, but kid's good, and I think it can happen.
I hope he does get 100 points. I have him in fantasy.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Last one, and I just have a feeling
we might have to save
the
Canucks Oilers discussion for next week.
We definitely do, because I've got to go. I've got to head.
Yeah.
Very quickly, Vegas wins the Pacific. What's the percentage chance?
30.
I was going to say the same thing, 30. I think too many people are giving too much credit to Edmonton in the regular season, and they're forgetting that Vegas somehow always just does it. Somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're going to do it. And
I would say maybe even Vegas, Vancouver, Edmonton all tied at a 30% chance, and then 10% chance for everybody else combined.
I think I'd agree with that.
Most of that last 10%. But
I totally agree with that. What would suck though is if Vegas is 1, it's Oilers Canucks in the first round, undoubtedly, and that
which is
really
a second round
sucks.
matchup. It should be second round.
Yeah, that really sucks. Ugh. I don't know though. I just, God, please no, please don't. They need to fade into irrelevance. They need to. I can't stand them. I really can't. How do you feel?
I also hate them with all my heart. They're my least favorite team. If they won the Pacific and had a deep playoff run again, I think I would cry myself to sleep. So at least we have common ground on that.
Yeah, we do have common ground on that. We'll argue a lot, but we do have that. All right, that was the very first edition of the Pacific Perspective podcast. I'm Xavier.
Perspectives. It's plural. There's 2 of us.
Perspectives. Okay, we'll head out. Thank you all for listening. We will see you guys next time.